Let it sit for a few minutes. All right. What we're going to do now is we're going to talk about the seasonings that we're going to be using in our Jamaican jerk chicken. You're going to need some salt. You can use fresh thyme or dried thyme. I like to use dried thyme seasoning. You're going to need some ground cinnamon. You're going to need some ground ginger. You can use fresh ginger if you want. Sometimes I use fresh ginger, sometimes I don't. You're going to need brown sugar. You're going to need some nutmeg. You're going to need some Jamaican allspice. This is a Jamaican dish, so you're going to need some Jamaican allspice seasoning. And you're going to need black pepper. Alright? So make sure you have all of those seasonings. Here are the liquids that you're going to need, condiments. You're going to need some soy sauce. You're going to need some apple cider vinegar. And you're going to need some olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, you can use vegetable oil, but I recommend that you use olive oil. Okay, you can also use white vinegar if you don't have apple cider vinegar. Okay, so make sure you have all of them as well. Now the vegetables, you're going to need 2 small limes. Okay, gonna be squeezing the juice out of there. You're going to need 1 large size yellow onion. You're going to need 4 to 5 Scotch bonnet peppers. Okay, so make sure you have that. If you want your jerk chicken to come out really spicy, use 8 or 9. And here we have some scallions. You're going to need about 8 scallions. Okay, we're also going to be using some minced garlic. Now you can use fresh garlic cloves. You can use about 4 of them, but I like to use minced garlic. That's less cutting that I have to do. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to chop up your vegetables, and you don't need to chop them up too small because we're going to be putting this in a processor. Okay, but you want to chop them up and break them down just a little bit so that you don't put them into the processor too big. Okay, so you want to break them down a little bit. What we're going to do with the Scotch bonnet peppers is just pull the seeds out. Make sure you get the seeds and all that other white stuff out, and then you're going to dice them up into really small pieces like that right there. And Scotch bonnet peppers, by the way, folks, is really hot. They are really hot. All right, that's what give your jerk chicken that spiciness. Okay, and now what we're going to do is we're going to chop up our green onions, aka scallions. We're going to chop them up into really small pieces. You're going to chop your scallions up into really small pieces, and they should look like that. And what we're going to do is we're just going to cut our 2 limes in half. We're going to be squeezing the juice from those limes into our mixture that we're about to make. Okay, so just cut them in half. All right, some people like to use a little bit of orange juice. I do that sometimes. I didn't have any oranges around the house, so I didn't use any fresh orange juice from an actual orange. It just gives it a little more flavor, a little kick, add a little kick to it. And that's 2 tablespoons of minced garlic. You can use 2 to 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. So those are all of our vegetables that we're going to be adding to the processor. So let's focus on that now. Okay, here's my processor. I don't know what kind you're using, but this is the kind that I'm using. What we're going to be using is we're going to be using a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. Okay, a 1/2 cup of soy sauce. We're going to be using 1/4 cup of apple cider vinegar, and like I said, you can use white vinegar if that's all you had around the house, but I like to use apple cider vinegar. I love apple cider vinegar. I just think it tastes better than white vinegar to me. We're going to be using 1/4 cup of olive oil. If you don't have olive oil, vegetable oil will do. 1/4 cup of olive oil. Okay, this is going to be our marinade that we're creating here, and we're going to squeeze the fresh juice from the 2 limes, and that should add up to about a little over 1/4 cup. Okay, so we're going to add that as well. And now what we're going to do is we're going to add our seasonings. Like I said, you can use fresh thyme if you want everything to be completely fresh, and fresh ginger. But I'm going to be using some thyme seasoning. I noticed that it really don't taste that much different from when you use the fresh thyme. So I just go ahead and use the dry thyme. You're going to use some Jamaican allspice, ground Jamaican allspice, 2 tablespoons of that. Okay, that's what give it that Jamaican flavor. Here we have brown sugar. You add brown sugar to balance out all of the flavors. Like I told you guys in previous videos, sugar just balances out all the flavors. It's not going to make your chicken super sweet or anything. It's just balancing out all of the flavors. Going to be using 3 tablespoons of that because we're using a lot of strong ingredients here, like the ground ginger and the allspice and the pepper and the peppers. So we have to balance that out with some sweetness. And there you have just 1 tablespoon of salt. Not going to use a lot of salt. You get enough salt from the soy sauce. Now we're using teaspoons. Okay, and that's 1 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. That's optional. I think that gives the jerk chicken a little kick, add a little kick and flavor to it. Here we have our 1 teaspoon of ground ginger. Like I said, you can use fresh ginger if you want, but I don't use fresh ginger. I think it's just too strong, so I like to use ginger seasoning. All right, and here we have 1 teaspoon of nutmeg. All right, that also adds additional flavor to the jerk chicken. Just gives it a nice aroma, and it adds all these good flavors to it, make it taste so good. And we're only going to be using 1 teaspoon of black pepper, because we're already using Scotch bonnet peppers, which is scorching hot. You add too much pepper to that, it's going to be burning. Okay, you're gonna have to go to the bathroom. So now we're going to add the onion, the large onion that we chopped up. We're going to add the 5 Scotch bonnets peppers that we chopped up, and we're going to add the 8 stalks of scallions, aka green onions, that we chopped up, and the 2 to 3 tablespoons of minced garlic. Okay, so you're ready to blend this bad boy together. This is going to create the marinade that we're going to be soaking our chicken in. Okay, that's the way it looked right there. And you want to blend it until it's like a smoothie. Okay, you don't want it to be really lumpy, but you don't want it to be really super soupy. But you want it to have some texture to it. It should look kind of like this, like a smoothie. Okay, that's what you want it to look. And that's what we're going to be soaking our chicken in and marinating our chicken in. And here's our fresh, clean chicken that I rinsed off. And what you're going to do is you're going to poke holes into your chicken with a knife. Okay, and what that does basically is that make your chicken marinate better. Okay, it allows the marinade to soak into the pores of the chicken and get into the core of the chicken. Okay, so that's just for better marinating. Okay, you don't have to do that, but if you do that, you're going to definitely get the marinade into the core of the chicken on the insides. All right, and we're going to get a bowl and add our marinade to the bowl, and we're going to put our chicken in that marinade, and it's going to sink into those holes that we poked into the chicken. Okay, now if you don't have time, you want to allow your chicken to marinate in this jerk seasoning that we created for at least 5 hours. Anything less than 5 hours might not be effective, but for best results, let it marinate in that jerk marinade overnight. Okay, 5 hours to overnight. Okay, look at that. Got all them flavors soak into the chicken. Now the next day you're going to get your grill, and you're going to put your chicken on your grill. We're going to grill these bad boys. We're going to grill them. We're going to grill them. I love grilled jerk chicken. You can bake jerk chicken. Some people do that, but grilling it just gives it that taste. It's not like grilled jerk chicken. Just don't taste the same. So this is how they looked after grilling them. Took about 45 minutes. You're going to grill them basically until they're cooked all the way through. You want to try one and bite it. And if it's cooked all the way through, you know it's done. And when it's nice and brown on top, like that. And you do want your jerk chicken to get nice and crispy and brown. Okay. It was really, really tender on the inside. And I didn't cover the lid. Okay. Just to let you guys know. I didn't close the lid of the grill. But look at that. Look at that. Look at that jerk chicken. Look at that Jamaican jerk chicken. And this is really good with some potato salad, with some macaroni salad. Guys, it's so good. It's so good. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Sitting on that grill. Look at that. Look at that jerk chicken. Look at that jerk chicken. Jerky chicken. Look at that. Guys, it was so tender. It was so tender. My sister loved it. Absolutely delicious. So now we're going to plate it. And we're going to decorate it by garnishing it with some chopped up scallions, aka green onions. Look at that jerk chicken, baby. Look at that. It looks so pretty, so beautiful. And it tastes as good as it looks. It was really, really good. Even without the orange juice that I usually add. It was really, really good. And it wasn't extremely spicy. If you want your jerk chicken to be extremely hot and spicy, just add more Scotch bonnet peppers. But let me cut this open for you guys. Look at this. Look at this when I cut it open. That's my mom, hands all in the way. Look at that. Look how tender. You can tell it's tender. Look how tender it looks on the inside. Ooh, that grill. You know how when you grill chicken, it just had that grill taste to it along with the seasonings from the jerk chicken. I can't, guys. I can't do it. It's just too good. Look at that. Nice and tender and well done on the inside. And that's my sister. Look at her. My sister's greedy. She really loves to eat. Look at her face. Her face says it all. But, yeah, guys. Jamaican jerk chicken. Hope you guys enjoy the rest of it. Peace.